Have you ever tried learning English through vocabulary lists and grammar books, only to find yourself struggling in real conversations? You study hard, but when it's time to speak, your mind goes blank. The sentences don't come out naturally. That's because real fluency isn't just about rules. It's about rhythm, feeling, and connection. One of the best ways to develop that is through stories. Stories give you context, emotion, and memory. And that's exactly what we're doing today. So hit subscribe now if you're ready to learn English in a way that sticks. And stay with me till the end. This story might teach you more than a week's worth of grammar lessons. He had been going to the same barber for years. The shop wasn't anything fancy, just a small, narrow space tucked between a bakery and a phone store. The mirror had a crack in the corner, the leather chairs squeaked, and the bell above the door jingled every time someone walked in. But his barber was the real deal. Sharp with the clippers, fast with the scissors, and always good for a conversation. One afternoon, he walked in for his usual trim. As he sat down, he noticed the barber looked extra energetic. He was smiling to himself, buzzing around the shop more than usual. "What's up?" the customer asked. The barber grinned. "Guess who came in this morning?" He shrugged. "No idea." "Neymar." He laughed, thinking it was a joke. But the barber pulled out his phone and showed him a blurry photo. Sure enough, there was Neymar, sitting right in that same chair, laughing, head tilted as the barber lined up his fade. "No way," the customer whispered. "He was here for a shoot nearby. Someone from the team found me online. Said Neymar needed a quick cut before the shoot. He walked in just like anybody else." The customer looked around the shop again, now seeing it differently. The cracked mirror, the old posters on the wall, the tiny TV in the corner, all of it had been part of Neymar's world for a few minutes. The rest of the haircut passed like usual, but his mind kept drifting. He thought about how Neymar had sat right there, how he must have spoken, joked, maybe even asked about the area. And in that moment, something clicked. Until then, he'd always treated English like a school subject, something to pass, something to get right. But hearing his barber talk about Neymar so casually, in the same space they'd shared for years, made it feel personal, real. He started imagining the conversation they might have had. He pictured the questions Neymar asked, the small talk, the reactions. He went home and wrote them down. Phrases like, "Do you take card?" Or, "How long have you been here?" He wrote imaginary answers. He practiced saying them. Over the next few days, he kept going. He found more phrases barbers use. Taper or fade. Line it up. Want product. Suddenly, English wasn't about tests anymore. It was about people. About moments. Every time he sat in the barber chair after that, he imagined himself talking like Neymar might have. Confident. Casual. Natural. Months later, when a tourist came into the shop by accident, looking for directions, the barber asked him to help. Without hesitation, he stood up and spoke. Slowly, clearly, but without fear. That tiny shop, the same one with the squeaky chairs and cracked mirror, had become his English classroom. Not because it had textbooks, but because it had life, language, and a story worth telling. Let's recap what this story taught us. First, language becomes real when it's tied to real people and moments. A haircut is just a haircut until Neymar walks in. Then it becomes a memory, and memories help you learn. Second, learning English doesn't always mean studying. It can mean noticing, listening, repeating phrases from daily life. A barbershop can teach you just as much as a classroom if you're paying attention. Third, use stories to create emotional connection. When you care about what happened, your brain remembers the words more easily. Your task today: think of a place you visit often, a cafe, a gym, a store, and imagine a conversation happening there in English. Write it out. Speak it aloud. Make it feel real. And if that helped you think differently about learning, hit subscribe now. We're here every day with stories that help you live the language, not just study it. See you in the next one.